Hey guys, Poplar Mechanic here. Today we'll be splicing up an ultra ring sling. A lot of you guys have asked me to do this video, so I decided today is the day I'll do it before we start getting busy here. So I have with me here a number 3 notch rigging thimble, so just basically an aluminum ring. Number 3 I believe is the largest you can get. And I really like these rings a lot because there's a big open hole, and you can do like the double whip rigging, you know, for larger pieces and stuff. So this is going to be a bigger sling. So that's the number 3 notch ring. I also have 20 feet of 3/4 inch tenex. I actually measured it this time, so I've got 20 feet of 3/4, which sounds like a lot, but once you fold the sling in half and start splicing, you're going to come in under 10 feet, I believe. So, you know, just something to keep in mind. You don't necessarily need one this big, but I rather have longer slings because I find the ones that you buy are a little bit too short. Okay, I also have just 2 fids with me. One's a 3/4, one's a 5/8 Samson. You'll need these. Then I just have a pair of scissors, some tape. Thanks to Luke Foreigner pointing out that masking tape works a lot better. Unfortunately, I haven't picked any up, so I'll be using electrical tape today, and then just a marking pen. So to start this splice off, what you're going to want to do is locate the ends of the tenex and cut them on a taper, put them in the fids, and then tape both ends to the fids, and that's just going to make the whole process a lot easier. So I'll go ahead and do that now, and then we'll carry on from there. Okay guys, so I've tapered the tenex. I stuck them into the fids, and then I proceeded to tape them on. Just tape them fairly securely. Tenex is pretty forgiving, so it won't be too big of a deal. I always start my tape from the bottom though, so it makes a nice transition when you're putting it through the tenex, because it can pick. Oh, one other thing I just wanted to mention, this is tenex Tech, so it's got 2 strands per carrier. It's just got better properties, and it's a lot easier to splice. If you have the other version of tenex, this won't work for this splice. Okay guys, so now that we've got to this point, the next step is to locate the center of the sling. So you can do that by laying it on the floor or measuring or whatever you want to do. It's pretty straightforward. I mean, even if you're off an inch or 2, it's not going to matter. So I'll go ahead and locate the center, and then I'll show you how to start the splice on the ring. Okay guys, so I've located the center of the sling, and I put my ring in there. And you'll notice about this tenex, it's sort of got like a thinner side and then kind of a wider side. You just want to make sure that wider side is wrapped around. It's pretty easy to figure out. It's probably to see on the video, but you'll know what I mean when you're holding it. So you'll go ahead and place that ring sling in the center of the rope. You'll have one leg going one way, one leg going the other. And then what you're going to do is start with one leg of rope. It doesn't matter which one. And you're going to stick it in right in between the tenex. Now, it's a 12-strand rope, so it's got 12 double strands. So theoretically, you should have 6 on either side, and that'll be dead center, which all sounds good in theory. But the truth is, once you do it, you just get a better feel for it. So you'll stick it in what you believe is the center of the rope. Then just look at both sides and make sure everything looks symmetrical. You'll know when you have it in the middle. So I'll go ahead and do that now. Okay, so at this point, we're not too worried about you know, getting it. You don't have to try to get the sling super tight because the Bremel will lock it up anyways. And like I said, that's why it doesn't really matter if you have like a little bit of an extra couple inches on one end or not. So we'll go ahead and open up the tenex where it's comfortable. Okay, you just kind of make a fat rope. You see how I'm doing that with my fingers? And then you're just gonna go through the rope. See, I didn't even look at the other side there. So now I can move this ring for a sec just to make it easier for you guys to see. Okay, so you can see what we have there. Now I've picked up a strand. Oh no, that's perfect. There, I thought you can go in between strands, so you just got to be careful about it. You can split the double strands, so you can see what it looks like on that side. And you can see what it looks like on that side. And then if you look at it head on, you can pretty much tell that you're in the middle of the rope. It's probably hard to see on video, but you guys will know what I mean. So anyways, I'll go ahead and pull that through. You're just going to pull that through. So you can see, I know that might have looked a bit confusing, but you can keep the rein there if it helps. But anyways, I'll show you what I mean. So you just want to make sure everything's orientated and situated properly, just like that. And you'll go ahead and you'll just tighten that down on there, so you can see that's a nice tight fit. So the next step in this process, once you have that one coming through that middle, so the way I look at it as is, so this rope here on the left went through this rope, so now this rope has to go through this rope. So what you're going to do is go a couple picks up, and then what picks are is these little V shapes. 1, 2. So I just go 1, 2 picks up and then go through the center of the rope again. So this time we'll be putting the 5/8 fid through. Okay. Okay, so that's where I'm at. Let's make sure everything's fairly snug. Okay, so we go a couple picks up. 1, 2. Make a fat rope. And we'll slide that through, and then I just swing her around, double check I'm in the center. Haven't split anything. Sorry guys. Okay, so just like I said, 2 picks up. Make sure you're in the center of the rope. And we're going to pull that through. So we'll just keep pulling, keep pulling. It's basically just a weave is all it is, guys. Okay, and then just make sure before you lock it in that this is all situated. Okay. So there you go. You can see that's a very strong weave, and it should start to look like this on the edges. Just make sure that you're getting it through the center of the rope, guys. Just take your time and have a look. Okay, so basically that rope went, this left rope went through the right rope, so now the right rope's got to go through the left rope. Okay, so going back to the 3/4, and that's a nice thing about using 2 different size fids. You can kind of, you know, you use the 5/8 one, now it's the 3/4, right? It's just a weave is really what it is. So same concept applies. Just make sure everything's orientated. We're just going to go 2 picks up and then put the 3/4 fid through. So 1 pick, 2 picks is about right here. Put it through the center. Make sure everything's symmetrical. See there, I messed up. I gotta put 1 more pick on that side. There we go. You see what I mean? That's nice and centered. Make sure it's centered on both sides. And then put it through. And you're just gonna keep pulling that through. Sorry guys, this is real tough on video, but I'm sure you're getting the point here. And then if you see that this is kind of getting a bit like contorted, you can roll it quite easily and just make sure it's nice and straight. It's fairly important. Okay? So if this is crooked like that, you just twist it. It'll slide easily within the other tenex. And then you're going to pull that tight. Now that's the triple lock Bramble Splice. So that isn't going anywhere. That's super solid. Now you should, this one's fairly tight, but after some use, they will move a little bit, but you have nice high side plates here, so this coming out isn't a worry at all after this. Okay guys, so the next step, you're going to want to, before you start your next series of Bramble Splices, what you're going to want to do is measure the pocket distance, okay? So all that is so that this can fit through here, right? So you can cinch it around a tree. So I don't know, I'll probably go about 7 or 8 inches between pockets here. I'll just measure that and then start the next splice, and I'll show you where I'm at. Okay guys, so you can see I have my ring, then my triple Bremel here, and then what I'm going to do now is I measured from here to here. I decided to go about 10 inches. You can probably see that dot right there. Okay, so I just made a measurement of 10 inches. Now if you want, you can make this a little bit longer because the chances of utilizing this first part of the sling are lower than other parts of the sling, which is another nice thing about doing it yourself. But I'm going to be going 10 inches on each pocket probably the whole way down. We'll see how this first one fits though. Okay, so basically what I also like to do is keep the weave the same. So you can see this left strand here came out of this right one, okay, went through this right one, so now this right strand has to go through the left one. So I'll simply open up the point where I marked there at 10 inches and then bring this fid right through the center of the rope. So I'll go ahead and do that now. Okay guys, so I've just put that fid in right through the center of the rope, and I apologize for not showing it. It's just a little harder with this heavier 3/4 because it keeps falling off, but yeah, it's pretty much the same thing as we did in the beginning there. You're just moving 10 inches up. So I'll go ahead and weave this through and finish this first pocket. Just always make sure you're going through the center of the rope. You'll know what I mean. It looks the same on both sides, about the same width. You'll get the hang of it. Okay guys, so I've finished the next triple locking Bremel splice here. That's my 10-inch eye. You can see it turns out it doesn't look, I know 10 inches sounds big, but it doesn't look that big when you go ahead and put the ring through it. So that's the beauty of this. It's your decision however tight you want to make that fit. But anyways, it should look like this. See, your sides should straddle each other like that on both sides, nice and clean. And then same with this side here. You can see the triple locking Bremel, and this doesn't take any, you don't have to lock stitch any of this. The important thing guys is just get this first one tight, get it real tight. It was kind of hard for me to show you on the table, but you can set it in your lap and then pull one side and get it in. Just get this fairly tight because it will loosen up with some use. So that's pretty much the main thing. So the next thing we're going to do is I'm just going to measure another 10 inches up the rope, do another triple locking Bremel, and then basically I'll just go right to the end. I might show you guys that next one, and then I'm just going to keep doing it till I get to the end, and then I'll show you how to finish the splice. Okay guys, so I made it to my last pocket here. I'll show you the whole sling in a sec. So this is my last triple Bremel, and what I like to do when I bury this tail is stay in the same order. So you can see that this rope here went through this rope here, so now this rope is going to go in here, and we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to go 2 picks up, and we're going to bury the tail, and where I came out is about 13.5, which is a fid length, roughly a fid length for the 3/4. Or actually it might be longer than that, but if you're running out of sling, you're running out of sling. This part isn't very critical at all. It just makes everything look nice and keeps everything together. So staying in the same order, we're just going to bury it, come out at this mark, which is a fid length, whatever size you're doing, and then we're going to pull it out this hole. So I'll go ahead and do that, and then we'll get back to you. Alright, so going through the center, obviously you're not going to want to pick anything up, but that's pretty obvious at this point. And then just come out at your mark, and then you can just milk this back instead of trying to reef on it. And you're just going to pull that through until it disappears like that, and then you can milk this back out. See, it looks like I picked up the tape or something, grabbed a little piece here, but I'll be able to smooth that out. So basically you just pop out of that mark there, and now I'll get the next part ready and we'll go to that. Okay guys, so here we are. This is where I pulled the the tail through. You can see it's hanging here. So I pulled the tail through right here, and now I've just went in with a wire fid right through the same hole, but going the other direction towards the end of the rope, and I stayed about a short fid length from the end of the rope here. That's kind of what you're supposed to do, but this part isn't super critical, guys. If you end up with not having enough rope, go a little shorter. It adds no strength to the situation. It's more just cosmetic. So anyways, I put the wire fid through here, and now I'm just gonna take it off the fid and then pull that piece through the same hole here with the wire fid. Okay guys, so I forgot to record that. I was having a little bit of a time getting this through, but basically if you have more rope it's easier. I was just getting short on rope, so I had to use the wire fid, and anyways, I pulled it out the same hole. Now you don't have to pull it out the same hole, but I just find that like if you don't taper these, like I didn't taper them other than the taper that was on there, and then it just kind of leaves less of a little limp spot in your sling. So that's kind of the way I do it. You don't have to do it like that. You can just do regular butt splice and try to tie it in as close as you can. But here's the other part of the splice I'm going to finish. So now I'm basically just going to milk this butt splice out, and then I'm going to milk this down, make a mark, and then cut this other sling that I brought in from the beginning, and then it should smooth out into one piece. So we'll see you then. Okay guys, so basically you can see this was all scrunched up like this. You just milk that down. Just milk it down. Then you can see that's where my butt splice is going to be. It came out the same hole, so I'll make a mark and then cut it here. And you don't want to taper this, just leave it fat. It's fine in this situation. So I'll go ahead and cut that now. Or mark it, sorry. So mark it right where it comes out there. And you'll just pull some of that out. And then I just cut it straight off. Cut it about right at the dot. Just like that. So you'll have that little bit left. And then you'll just milk it down inside. Just like that. And then I know it seems like that's like I said, you don't have to do it this way. If you have a little limp spot here, it doesn't matter. Sometimes you do anyways. It is a bit more limp there, but it just makes a more solid tail. And then you're definitely going to want to lock stitch this part of it. It doesn't really matter the size of string you use. If you have the smaller stuff, I would just recommend doubling it up, because this adds no strength to the rope. It simply finishes it off, because this last pocket is held in by these Bremel splices. Okay guys, I'll show you the whole sling now. Okay guys, so here's the splice all finished up. You can see it's got all the pockets here. If I could do 3/4 again, I'd probably honestly go 25 feet, but this is going to be, you know, you'll be able to pretty good size diameter piece. I think the one I bought is a little bit longer than this one. I thought 20 was going to cut it, but like I said, I'd probably go 25. If you're doing real big trees in your area, I'd even go 30, because it just sucks when it doesn't fit. And that's pretty much as short as you want to go on the tail. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It looks nice and clean. Just got to lock stitch this part, and we're ready to bring some trees down. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I hope it helped some of you. I wasn't really trying to drag it on, and I apologize for that. I just wanted to show you some of those key points. You know, just get everything tight. You know, get it tight around the ring initially. Make sure you're going through the center of the sling. Just measure your pockets. Make sure nothing's twisted, and you should be fine. Alright guys, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.